What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder Platinum. This one's finished in Boulder Grey with an MSRP at $55,000. Big shout out to Garber Nissan for providing this vehicle for today's video. Check out their link to their website linked down below. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder Platinum, you're going to find the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder. This V6 makes 284 horsepower with 259 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission and does have a 4-wheel drive system. This runs on an 18.5 gallon fuel tank and you're looking at 20 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway. Overall curb weight is 4,600 pounds and it can tow 6,000 pounds. The overall length is 197.7 inches with a wheelbase at 114.2. Width is 77.9 and height is 70.9 inches with ground clearance at 7.1 inches. Taking a look at the exterior styling with the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder, we have a pretty nice design on the headlights with a daytime running light and then the LED design. You have some chrome trim on the upper grille, white on the Nissan badge, as well as a forward-facing camera and then gloss black for the main grille itself. Down below we have a little bit of silver trim, forward-facing sensor. You can also see parking sensors as well. We have some nice sharp lines down below and then curves in the upper section. Definitely comes together very nice, looks like a nice modern SUV. And then up on the hood, we have one sharp line on each side cutting towards the windshield. Around the side profile, you have more of this plastic trim and a nice set of 20-inch wheels. Two-tone design with a multi-spoke look. And then down below on the doors, it says Pathfinder on the chrome trim and then more of that plastic trim. Got some smooth body lines throughout the side, body colored door handles and mirror caps, integrated turn signal and side view camera, and then chrome and black trim throughout all the windows. I like how this C-pillar is cut through as well, and then we have a nice set of roof rails and crossbars. Got a panoramic sunroof up above, and then for the side profile, it's a pretty proportional looking 3-row SUV. Doesn't look too big, but still looks nice and athletic, and I like how all the black blends into this rear glass. You're going to get an integrated spoiler with your third brake light, Nissan badge right in the center with a black trim piece, and then you can see how the taillights are integrated into that. Down below we have more parking sensors, some silver trim, all of your trailer hitch connections along with the plug. Then you can see a rear view backup camera. Pathfinder is written out and the style comes together very nice. Really not a bad angle, looks really good for a family SUV. Taking a look at the key fob, we have lock, unlock, remote start, and the tailgate release, just some black and silver trim. If I go ahead and lock the vehicle, you can just go up to the car, grabbing the handle, pressing the button, we can take a look at the interior. This one's gonna get the chestnut leather interior, really nice design along with some black accents. Taking a look at the door panel, you can see the chestnut color up above with this nice soft touch. We have our release handle, memory seating, and then down below we have all of your window and mirror controls with lock and unlock. Got your grab handle with some cool aluminum plastic trim and then some good padding for the armrest with storage all down below. You're going to see power controls for the driver's seat, and then you can see the two-tone with this genuine leather, which is very nice to touch, super smooth feeling. We have perforations all throughout it, and then nice stitching making our way up to the headrest. Spinning around, we have a nice design on the flat bottom steering wheel, and then you can also see some silver trim and just black leather on the sides. And then now inside the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder Platinum, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. We have the comfort access, so the steering wheel and seat will get into place. And then for the steering wheel, you got your Nissan badge right in the center. And then on the left side, we have some Bluetooth and audio controls. We have cruise control settings on the right, along with your distance pacing, and there are a set of paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. On the right side, we have all the windshield wiper controls, and then the left side, we have all the headlights. Taking a look at the gauge cluster, you can exit out of this. One thing cool, you can configure the view, so you can go into a more traditional style or the larger view. So taking a look, you can see your tach and speedometer. You can scroll up and down through this menu. Then scrolling left and right, we have all sorts of different information that are going to pop up. So pretty nice layout with pretty much everything you're going to need to see. 4-wheel drive, trip information, MPG. And then down on the left side, we have our heads-up display. You have the tailgate release, steering intervention, and your interior dimming. I like this aluminum colored plastic trim along with the more soft touch material. Just some smooth soft touch up above on the dash, and then more of that chestnut color throughout the dash. So really nice to see the stitching. You have a little cargo tray down below to put a cell phone or two, and then the multimedia screen right in the center, basically what you're used to seeing from other Nissans. We have our menu icon, you have the map as well. You can go into that and see a lot of that. Camera information will pop up. We got a top-down view, and then the front view is right there. Going ahead and putting into reverse, of course that's going to flip to the rear view backup camera. Going back into the menu to see the main screen, we can scroll left and right, see all sorts of different information, basically what you're familiar with all the Nissan lineup. And then you have touchscreen shortcuts and then physical shortcuts. We have volume on the left, tuning on the right, start button, 2 air vents, and your hazards. Climate controls are all going to be located down here, all physical. You have your temperature on the left and right side, dual zone, and then you're going to see the nice screen, heated steering wheel, heated and vented seats, and then all the other controls. You're also able to configure the rear climate separately. Down below, we do have wireless phone charging, a couple extra plugs, and then a lot of storage all throughout the center for a cell phone or your water bottles. We have the gear selector, and then you can see the park and brake, auto hold, auto start stop, and drive modes is right here. You can just toggle this. We have all sorts of different drive modes for towing, a sport one, eco, and then going into several different off-road modes. We also have the downhill assist and then some nice trim right here with extra storage underneath the center console. It says Pathfinder right here, and then we have the smooth soft touch, and opening that up, you have extra storage space as expected. Glove box on the right side opens up, and you have a pretty large bucket. And then one last look at the interior. Overall, it's a pretty nice place to be. Very simple, however, with the genuine leather and the overall use of materials, it really is a nice place to be in, especially for the price point. Up above, we're going to get a light colored headliner, massive panoramic sunroof, and then all of those controls along with a sunglass holder up above. You can see your mirror with a thin frame, and then garage door buttons are underneath. And then taking a look at the back seat space, just grabbing the door handle and opening it up. Rear door panel is finished off just like we saw up front, and you're even going to get a nice manual sunshade. There's 2 cup holders back here, and then for the seating, you're going to have the same genuine leather and then that nice 2-tone design. You have perforations throughout the center. This can seat 3 people in this middle row, and then pulling these down, we have a nice cup holder and armrest design. Up in front, we're going to get all the climate control settings with heated seats. See all the different buttons, plugs down below, and nice storage cubbies behind these seats. As far as maneuvering these seats, you can pull this lever right here, which is also for recline, and that will fold nice and flat. Very good for the cargo space. So hopping into the back seat with the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder, so going ahead and reclining, these seats recline a lot, and at 5'11", honestly, I sit back here really well. You have tons of headroom, as you can tell. Of course, the sunroof comes back into here. We have air vents up above on the ceiling, plenty of legroom and footroom with the driver's seat all at my height. So really no shortage of a nice back seat. Can't complain at all. And then moving on to the third row, you're gonna have a button down here you can press. The seat's gonna automatically pop out of the way, giving you a pretty nice walkway into the back. And as you can see, we have 3 more seats back here. When you have them folded down, they're nice and flat. And then with them up, we have headrests that will fold downwards. There's also gonna be some storage on the far right side with extra USB plugs. And then hopping into the third row now. So without captain's chairs, of course, you have this wall of seat in front of you. With these up in kind of the straight up position, my knees are definitely pretty tight back here. As you can tell, the seat base is very low as well. So this isn't a jumbo SUV. If you want that, check out the Nissan Armada. However, for a normal size, mid-size SUV, the third row is still useful enough. 3 people in a pinch can definitely fit back here. And honestly, smaller kids really won't be too bad. So at least you have a nice functional third row with air vents even in the ceiling and a couple nice amenities. Taking a look at the cargo space, you can just tap the button underneath here and the power liftgate is gonna pop open. So with the third row up and down, you can get a pretty good idea of the cargo space you're gonna have. Still very useful for the family, even when the third row is in use. Underneath the floor, we can lift this upwards. You are gonna have a lot of hidden storage, which is a pretty cool touch. And then for these seats, you can pull these to unlock the headrests, and then grabbing that recline lever, we can get these to fold nice and flat. So with the second row up, you still have tons of storage as you would expect. And then with the second row down, you have a lot of flat storage to make this really practical. All right, so setting off now in the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder. So one of the nicest things is the fact that this has a V6. It's really, honestly, refreshing to be in a normal midsize SUV with a normal engine. This is just kind of old school and nice. So you have good power to get up to speed. You do have a really good range and pretty good fuel economy for what it is. Ride quality is pretty good in this as well. Now, even hitting these bumps and things in the road, this thing tackles them with ease. It drives like a tank. It's super solid. You can feel how this is really put together really well. This is one of my more favorite Nissan vehicles. We've had quite a few of these as press cars, and I probably put about 10,000 miles on the new Pathfinders in general. So overall, I think it's a pretty nice vehicle to get used to, especially if you have a family or something. This is gonna be very easy to just drive and use. I also love the genuine leather. This is a really nice seating surface, and it also just helps make this feel very premium. And at 55 grand, there's a lot of vehicles at this price that don't have those materials. Same with just the two-tone and everything. It feels like a really nice place to be for the price point. The tech is pretty simple, nothing really all too amazing about the screen. It gets the job done, it has what you need in it. So really can't complain there. I wouldn't mind the cameras being a little bigger, given you have a nice size screen. And then the screen in the center, same thing, it kind of gives you what you want. So overall driving, can't complain. We'll keep it in auto mode. You know, the brakes do a good job coming down to a slow speed. Steering is nice and effortless, really smooth. And then the acceleration with the 9-speed. Nice and smooth, what you would expect from this type of engine. So really can't complain as an overall driver. It just drives well, and it feels like a really well-built family vehicle. Visibility is pretty good too. You can easily see all around, no complaints there. I don't think there's any drastic complaints with driving in the new Pathfinder. If you want just kind of a normal, no crazy extra like tech that's going to be confusing, this is kind of one of those vehicles that just has everything you need, nothing more, nothing less. And then it has the build quality to back it up, which I think is missing in some other vehicles these days, where they only have little 4-cylinders. And when you're in a 3-row SUV, you know, a little 4-cylinder doesn't quite feel that tough. You know, it feels like it's straining a little bit. So with this having a V6, you know, if we go into sport mode and manual mode, it kind of gives you a little bit more of that fun factor. The transmission responds well to the shifters. You know, if you're towing, maybe going in a mountain driving area where you have a lot of different elevations, the manual mode is going to allow you to shift a little bit and just maintain the RPMs that you're desiring. So my honest thoughts with the 2025 Nissan Pathfinder. So like I said, we've had a couple of these over the years as press cars, taking them on trips from North Carolina to Michigan. So we're up here now in Michigan hanging out, and nice to get back into a Pathfinder for at least an hour or so and check one out. So for 2025, nothing really has changed over the last year or so. I guess my only maybe thing that they could change is the screen. This is still the older Nissan screen. Some of the other newer vehicles like a 2025 Murano has the updated design, and it's pretty cool the way they've done it. They're utilizing more of the actual screen and even filling out the bezel more. So maybe 2026 they'll do that to the Pathfinder. It still gets the job done, but you know, that could be an upgrade to do on the Pathfinder. Other than that though, I think my biggest thing that I like about this is the build quality. This feels like SUVs from a decade ago, and I say that in a positive way. It doesn't mean this is an outdated car, it just means this kind of has what a lot of new SUVs are missing, and a lot of new cars in general are missing. A lot of new vehicles, they're kind of getting a little cheap feeling. This, you know, Nissan still gives you a nice robust V6. It feels like a normal SUV. It feels tough. It feels like something that is gonna last. The build quality in general, when you close the doors, when you hit bumps, this thing feels solid. It is a nice riding vehicle. The suspension does a great job. The seats are comfortable. We have real materials like genuine leathers on the interior. Overall, I think this is just a nice crossover. It's a nice vehicle. I guess it's more of an SUV than a crossover. Still is the unibody design, but it's just a solid vehicle with no true drawbacks. I like the power, the transmission, everything about the way it drives. It just feels like a good quality SUV for the family, something that we're used to seeing from 10 years ago when everything had a bigger engine and a more solid chassis. So Nissan's done a good job just keeping this kind of old school in all the good ways. The brakes work well, the steering is nice, the acceleration is smooth. It sounds like a powerful V6 instead of a noisy 4-cylinder. So I like that aspect a lot. This is just kind of, it takes you back to when all the vehicles produced were all nice and solid, and the Nissan Pathfinder is one of those. So those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and check out Garber Nissan. I'll have their website linked down below. Big shout out to them for providing this 2025 Pathfinder for today's video. Check out their website, and I'll see you guys in the next video.